Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful Saturday night. I got a good one for you today. Nahi Nenshi, one NDP leader for Alberta, like by a landslide. So, so this is honestly, I think this was expected because Nenshi is really like when he left office after 11 years as mayor of Calgary, he still had 38% of the vote. So, anywho, um, I was gonna do a totally different story for today, but when I saw this, I had to hop on it. So let's get into it. What does Mr. Nenshi have for us in the future? What is his view for Alberta? Let's see. So from the CBC, Nahi Nenshi, elected new leader at the Alberta NDP. Former Calgary mayor garners 86% of the votes. So pretty much everybody else had no chance. Like I said, it makes sense. Like Nenshi's still widely known throughout all of, throughout all of Alberta. He did leave, being mayor on a high-ish note for like the general populace. So I know like a lot of the more conservative people didn't really like him, but everybody pretty much, I mean, uh, everybody pretty much liked him until like the oil boom crashed and then the money stopped flowing. But let's see what the CBC has to say about this. Alberta NDP members have overwhelmingly chosen former Calgary Mayor Naheed Nenshi as their new leader after a commanding win with 86% of members' votes. The opposition was blown away, just like Nenshi was blown away by the support across Alberta. Yeah, when you see like the size of the NDP party from what it was to what it is now, it is nuts. He says, or Nahid Nenshi says, the fact that they're putting me in again for a second time, their hopes and dreams for their community. For me, that's a real humbling thing. Nenshi said, and it's something I'll try to live up to every day. So, in his first speech as leader, Nenshi urged the party members to redouble their effort to grow the Alberta NDP into an unstoppable machine that leads to an inevitable NDP win. Well, to be completely honest, Edmonton's NDP stronghold. So, and he's not going to win out in the, he's not going to win the urban area, or like he's not going to win all over the farmers or anything like that, like or the towns. And he's going to be relying pretty much on his rep in Calgary. So Daniel Smith, warning to you, you have a massive hurdle to get over right now. Like Daniel Smith should be quaking in her boots. And this is coming from a conservative, right? I'm not too keen on Nenshi, but I'm not too keen on Daniel Smith either. She let me down too many times for me to really like her as a politician. But like I said, Nenshi left left Calgary with 38% of the vote. So you gotta think the NDP already have 38% of the vote in the next election in Calgary, and they already have Edmonton. So this is gonna be a rough election for the UCP. They go on to say the other people withdrew. And then she received 62,746 votes. Cool. I don't care what the other people got because they did so poorly. Who really cares who they are? So then she came out and he told the NDP before encouraging members to broaden the appeal of the Alberta NDP to more voters, Nenshi turned his sights on Premier Daniel Smith. Nenshi noticed that Smith said she was the most freedom-loving politician in Canada. Yeah, I do remember that. But he said she hasn't infringed on Albertans' rights by promising to limit medical treatments for gender-diverse youth. okay, sir, let's simmer down there. She limited it until they're like 15 years old. So let's put that to bed. How how young do you want this the the medical treat we all know what the medical treatments are, right? If you don't know what the medical treatments are, they're called puberty blockers. So pretty much what her bill does is say no child under 15 years of age can take puberty blockers. That or go through surgery or whatnot. And then it says surgery is for over 18. So you have to be an adult. So when the NDP comes out and they're like, oh, it's it's crazy how they're telling kids can't take medication so they don't go through puberty when they're like 12, right? It's like it, that, most people don't really like that idea of doing that. Most people do not like the idea of just letting kids genetically modify their body to or stunt their body just because they feel a certain way. They're kids. They don't know they don't know anything. Kids are stupid. Trust me, I was one. Teenagers are even more dumb because they're hyped up on hormones and weirdness and acne medication. Well, acne wipes. I don't think there's acne medication yet. He also grilled her about saying that Daniel Smith cast a chill on locally elected politicians by making it easier for the provincial government to overrule councillors. I don't remember that one. I can't really. I never saw that. But and also said passed a bill that lets the province vet any federal research grants to academia. Well, hey Nenshi, academia is in provincial jurisdiction. Did you not know that, man? You're going for premier position. You have to know that academia is provincial jurisdiction. So they have a right to vet that. Now, uh, what he could say is scratch that and say vet any federal research. Vet, sorry, vet any federal grants to municipalities. Then that's a different thing because that's shouldn't be a provincial thing. That should be a municipality thing. And the voters should get what they voted for, and it shouldn't be a provincial thing. So then, if he said that it was grants to federal preventing federal grants to municipalities, I would accept that. I would be like, yes, I do agree. But since he's talking academia, I do not agree. But what can we expect? This guy's NDP, so. He said Albertans shouldn't have to accept a political interference or such political interference. Okay. I don't really think she's interfering with my day-to-day life, but yeah. And then he goes to say, I think what she meant to say is she's the most power-loving politician in Canada. So if what Nenshi's saying here is like he's gonna be more hands-off on the government, so he's not gonna be putting we're like reviewing a lot of these federal grants, which hopefully he vets the research grants to academia because that's kind of their job. But if he says he's like gonna let municipalities and mayors and everything do their thing with the federal government and they'll kind of just be there, right? It is true that right now it's a little bit different because Trudeau's he's just swooping into provinces and just arriving and announcing this stuff without even telling the province. So I kind of see, but in a normal federal government, the federal government should be able to go straight to the municipalities and just say, hey, we'll help fund this stuff as long as you do it in this such and such way, and the provinces won't care. That's usually how it goes. So, if he says he'll be hands off on that and he won't like vet that stuff, and that'll be good. But we'll definitely have to see what he says about how he's going to run the government. I don't have high hopes. Next new leaders, next steps. Following his victory speech, Nenshi told reporters he's in no rush to seek a seat in Alberta legislature. He said he hasn't ruled out running in an upcoming by-election in Lethbridge West, where 9-year NDP MLA and former Environment Minister Shannon Phillips has decided to step down. He said he'd prefer to run in Calgary. Well, yeah, because that's where. Well, he says because that's where his community is, and yeah, if he runs in Calgary, he's gonna win, unless he does a terrible job, but he's gonna win. So he points to Manitoba, where they chose an NDP government. Good job, Manitoba. You kind of screwed the pooch over there, but sure, whatever. You do, you boo. Well, I don't actually know if their NDP government is quite like the NDP federal, but Alberta NDP members also debated the future of the political party's affiliation with the federal NDP during the leadership campaign. A provincial membership automatically makes the person a member of the federal party, which some say is a put-off to more centrist citizens. Yes, it is. Have you seen the state of the NDP party right now? The federal NDP party. It is terrible. They're just yellow liberals. That's all they are. Or sometimes orange. I think the NDP sometimes gets their colors kind of mixed up. You say other NDP loyalists say the provincial party shouldn't abandon its roots. The NDP party needs. Look, if you're going to survive in Alberta, you're going to have to sever your roots from the federal NDP party. You're going to have to, or you'll become like the Liberal Party of Alberta, where nobody votes for you. What did they get last time? Like 13? No, not even 13. They did so bad they didn't even get one seat, and the guy who ran, he never ran again. He dropped out of politics altogether. So, I mean, yeah, you're gonna. Albertans don't like Nenshi either, because Nenshi's just a puppet for Trudeau. So, oh, sorry, my bad, not Nenshi, Jagmeet Singh. Oh, my bad. Jagmeet Singh is just a puppet for Trudeau. I don't know about Nenshi. To be completely honest, my memory is getting fuzzier and fuzzier about the times that he was mayor and I was in Calgary. I do know he did create very hostile. Well, there were stories that he created very hostile work environment, and he used his Indian race to kind of say other people were racist. If anybody kind of said anything bad about him, right? He just call you, yeah, you just don't like me for my skin color, right? But like I said, that's just all stories I've heard, and I didn't experience any of it. But like I said, I heard no bad things about Nenshi until maybe like 6 or 7 years after he was mayor, when everything kind of went to heck, and a lot of the province, he just kind of kept spending like there was no tomorrow. Even when all the money ran out, because Calgary is very boom and bust depending on oil, the price of oil, and so when all the companies left Calgary to go to Texas, I mean, and then she was still spending like there was a ton of businesses downtown Calgary. So I'm gonna take that, and I'm assuming he's gonna bring that to the legislator if he wins. So I can anticipate if Nenshi wins, it's gonna be a kind of like a high rolling, high spending government, the kind of typical NDP government. I think probably more spending. Government spending than maybe more than Rachel Notley, but I'm not quite sure. All right. Reading. Oh, it just goes down to say where he was born. Calgarians might remember Nenshi most for his communication skills and hopeful messages from the 2013 flood. Oh, that was bad. Spearheaded the push for the 2026 Olympics, which Calgary refused. And that just shows how bad that Well, that vote was in 2019, I believe. But that just shows how bad the state of Calgary was in at that time. Like, there was no hope of us paying for uh, the 2026 Olympics. There was no hope. Um, but just like I said at the start, right, to see how much the NDP party has grown, right here, it says the NDP party started with 16,000 members and now has ballooned to 85,000 members since the new leader came in. So that just shows, like, Danielle Smith, this is a warning to you. Nenshi was your worst fear. Because anybody not from Alberta should know the reason why I say this is there's three places you need to win if you want to be leader or if you want to be premier. You have to win Edmonton, which usually always votes majority NDP. You have to win Calgary, which is the other big city, and you have to win rural Alberta. So 2 out of those 3 you have to win, and usually rural Alberta is always conservative. Though I know a lot of people out there, even farmers, who are not too happy with Smith. So, and Calgary, like I said, Nenshi left on a, considering how long he's been in politics, he left on a high note. So, it seems like at least 38% of people have a good view of Nenshi in Calgary. So, the Conservatives are already behind. They're already behind on their votes. So, this is going to be really tough. And the dude's popular. I got to give him that. He's popular and he's a good speaker. I wouldn't call him Trudeau on steroids, but he's really good at speaking to people. So, I'm assuming he may come out and be like, and present himself as the leader of acceptance and truth, and kind of like, oh, we're just gonna be kind, and this Danielle Smith is such a separatist and she's mean and yada yada yada, right? I assume that's the route he's gonna go, where he's the nice guy. I don't think he's gonna go full like woke, Canada's burning, climate change and activism. I don't think he's gonna go that route, because he'll have to appeal to centrists. So, and like the other thing that I said is he's gonna have to separate the provincial NDP from the federal NDP. If he does those 3 things, I think Nenshi is gonna be in a pretty solid position for leader of, well, not leader, I guess, for premier on the next go round. And to be completely honest, I would not be surprised. So let me know what you think. That's all I got for you today. Links to this article down below. It is the CBC, so I mean, honestly, you don't really need to read it because it's the CBC. It is what it is. But if you do, it's there. Please comment. That would be awesome. Even if you don't really have a general comment, just put like a 1, 2, or 3. Sends this to more people. Says YouTube, hey, I really like what this guy says. And if you do like this content, please subscribe. That would be awesome. And have a good night.